Welcome to Reconnecting Africa. Oh, finally, a brother from PNG. Brother, introduce yourself.
My name is Joshua. I'm from Papua New Guinea, the land of over 800 different languages. I am currently here in Sydney to study. I work with fish.
What are you studying in Australia, brother?
I am studying at the University of New South Wales.
Okay, what course are you doing?
I'm doing a master's by research. I work with fish.
Okay.
So I'm a fisheries researcher.
All right. So when you finish, are you working here, or are you going back to contribute to your country?
I am going back to contribute to my country.
Okay.
There's still my people still need me. So
Yeah, your people need you, isn't it? Wow.
definitely.
Okay, my brother. So are you from the capital city, isn't it?
I'm from a smaller town, about 50 minutes flight from the capital city.
Okay. For those who never heard of Papua New Guinea, tell a little bit about Papua New Guinea, especially to your brothers in Africa.
Okay, great. So Papua New Guineans are of the Melanesian group of people in the South Pacific, or South Pacific basically. My country is connected to Indonesia,
Sure.
but we border with Irian Jaya. There's over 820 different languages.
Yeah.
There's 22 provinces.
Okay.
And it's a growing population. We are rich with oil and gas and gold, but we are still greatly or significantly affected by corruption, just like other countries.
Okay. So West Papua is different to Papua New Guinea,
We are night and day apart.
but you are one people.
We are one people, but the skin tone is different, the language is different,
Okay.
the customs and traditions are different.
Okay. Okay. You're talking to someone of African background. What do you know about Africa?
I know that Africa is a continent. I know that it plays host to a couple of the biggest deserts in the world.
Sure.
It has a rich and diverse culture. I know countries like South Africa who are big in rugby. I also enjoy playing rugby as well.
Okay. When you look back, do you guys have any connection to Africa?
I would say the skin tone. I would say the skin coloration and the diversity of cultures and traditions, as well as the different types of languages.
Sure, sure. So you don't know that your ancestors immigrated from Africa?
I am yet to find out.
Okay. All right. Yeah, from what I know is that, people settled now in Fiji, some Vanuatu, some islands in Vanuatu, they immigrated in Salomon as well.
Wow.
They immigrated from Africa. Australian and the Pacific and the Africa was like one land. We split it years ago, if you don't know.
The next.
Wow, I didn't know that.
My brother, you need to dig your culture, man.
I really
on,
do.
on this channel, we call Reconnecting Africa. Black people like you, like me, a lot of people left Africa due to slavery, but some left even earlier because before the white men came.
I recently saw a video a couple of days ago about Africans already existing in North America prior to the movement of the slaves. So there's always a possibility. And is this a YouTube channel?
This YouTube channel called, you can check
follow you.
follow me, Reconnecting Africa. A lot of people believe is what the white men told them, the colonizer told them you this, but if you dig deeper, you know that you came from, I don't know, you search yourself. You never been to Africa, I know. When you think about Africa, what comes to your mind?
The wildlife there, lions and giraffes and hippopotamus and elephants and that's actually one place I'd like to visit, the continent of Africa, just to see the life there and see if we can draw similarities between South African African countries and
Yeah. What similarity are you talking about?
just the diversity of the cultures. I believe if there's something that will connect us is the way we behave and do things, or the way in which our ancestors did things. So I think if I had the opportunity to go to continent of Africa and maybe find out the origins of where I came from.
And you feel at home, I'll tell you what. If I walk to Papua New Guinea, no one will ask me where I'm from. If you walk to any market in Africa, no one will ask you where you're from. What's the main food of Papua New Guinea?
So we mainly agricultural farming is still big in my country. We have sweet potatoes, cassava, different types of bananas, pineapples, different varieties of fruits. It's quite there's quite a few number of
A light for High Park.
number of
Did you just say cassava?
Including the airport.
Have you heard of something called fufu?
I've seen it on a Nigerian channel.
Do you guys have something similar?
We actually powder. We go with
This stop
cassava into powder, but then we cook it with coconut milk.
Sure. Some countries in Africa do the same. You know, every African country they might use different way, but the main food, the main meal, they use cassava leaves, taro leaves, cassava leaves. Fufu in every country in Africa probably got different name, but the way they do it, there's similarity. You know what I mean? Another thing also
next stop
in Papua
is
New Guinea.
Chinatown.
You know, if you say
Central
you
Traverse
wanna
Street,
marry
all stops
someone,
to Rand.
do follow the traditional way. How they do it?
So we call it bride price.
What's called?
Bride price ceremony.
All right.
And so you actually pay for your wife, for your bride. So it varies from different, we call it provinces. Different provinces in Papua New Guinea have different values on women. So some places you may have to pay $50,000 for a wife, and other places $250,000 for a wife, on top of pigs and cars and boats and food and whatnot.
Yeah, this is like Africa. So it's expensive to follow all that. Do you think it's fair to have that?
Well, I think we shouldn't put a cost on or the value on our women. And I think women should be held in high regard and should not be costing people to pay for it. But then you have cultures where people come from, they're so in depth with it that it's a tradition that they still have to keep. So it's stronger in some provinces now as opposed to others, but it's still in existence.
Sure. And personally, I respect that. I think it makes sense if you want to marry or if you want her to be your wife to really recompense the family, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, Papua New Guinea in a house family. This channel trying to reconnect the long lost black family. As we know, black people are today spread for thousand years in a lot of corners of the world. And yes, we just here trying to know a little bit about PNG. There's another part of New Guinea that called West Papua that's still fighting for their independence. So in the future, I would love to talk to someone from West Papua to really tell us what's going in that part of the world. By the moment here of my brother from Papua New Guinea, I would like to ask a few more questions if we have a chance. My brother, what message do you have for your people in PNG and also in West Papua?
Well, for people back in PNG, if we ever get the opportunity to see the world, take it within the pretext of what I'm doing now is an international student studying in an institution in Australia. Learn as much as you can from people who are developed, but then don't forget your culture. Just remember to, when you go back home, give back to your people. Make get the information, get the knowledge, all the knowledge you can, but then make it tailor-made for your people. Because only we can change our people's mindset, not just the people from outside.
Fair enough. Well said, brother. Do you have a message for your cousins in Africa? You don't know them. Tell me if you got something for them.
Well, hopefully I get the opportunity to travel to Africa. I've grown up watching
This stop
movies,
is Haymarket.
hearing stories about it, but I'd like to see
Change
Africa
for
for myself.
purchase.
So hopefully one day I can make it to Africa.
Yes. Guys, you haven't been independent for a long time, isn't it?
We're approaching 50 years of independence now. I think we got our independence in 1975, September 16, 1975.
75.
One of our forefathers passed away on the a year ago. So Friday is going to be public holiday to commemorate his passing. His name is Sir Michael Shumara.
Sure. You got your independence from Australia, isn't it?
Yes.
Wow. So, what's like to be free after years of colonization under Australia?
I think most of my generation, I would say, take for granted the freedom that we got, because unlike other countries, we did not fight for it. We are fortunate enough and blessed by forefathers, although we did not have qualifications that were at the same level as Australians and whatnot, but then they were still grounded enough by our cultures and traditions to fight for
Sure.
what they knew was best for us.
Okay, okay. What's the population of Papua New Guinea?
The population of it's growing. The census office of Papua New Guinea
Yeah.
usually gives a figure, but realistically, that wouldn't be the exact number.
Few millions?
Yeah, a few millions, not more than 10. Maybe let's say between 5 and 10, around 7 million.
Okay. What's the main sport in Papua New
Oh, we
Guinea?
love our rugby league.
Rugby league.
Yes, we love our rugby league.
Okay.
And then you have cricket and soccer.
Okay.
But we're mainly really good at playing rugby league.
Have you been in the World Cup in any sport?
We've been in the Rugby World Cup.
All right.
We finished in the quarterfinals.
Okay.
Last year in England.
Oh, wow. And tell me, who is the famous person in PNG? Celebrity or whatever?
He's a rugby player by the name of Justin Holland. An NRL team called the Melbourne Storm.
All right. He's still playing?
He's still playing. He recently broke his forearm.
Okay.
He'll be out for 4 weeks or so.
Okay. So he's very famous in Papua New
He's
Guinea.
very famous because his story of how he started playing rugby and ended up playing in the world's best competition, which is the National Rugby League in Australia.
Yeah.
Is one similar one where most Papua Guineans can relate to.
Okay.
So on that level, it's really has inspired a lot of young boys to
Okay. What's the music style of Papua New Guinea?
most recently R&B is taking momentum now.
Wow.
But R&B, rap, but there's island reggae is still popular. As well.
Oh, reggae. Okay.
Yeah, island reggae. Yeah.
Island reggae, different one. I'll check it up. That. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And when it comes to fashion,
We have a lot of local designers. I think the most popular attire that women folks wear back in PNG is called the Mary blouse, where not cotton, but they sew the clothes, blouses that women wear. And
Okay.
and then we're also known for our bags like this. They're
yeah,
called bilums.
yeah.
Each bilum has a design.
Okay.
There's a story to it.
I just want to know. I heard that Papua New Guinea is being taken over by the Chinese. Is that true?
At this stage, we've not been taken over, but there's a large presence of Chinese shops. I guess it's all over the world, where there's a large number of Chinese people doing businesses in Papua New Guinea now. But I think some of our politicians now have identified this, and they're now working towards controlling the amount of Asians that come into our country to conduct businesses.
Good. That's a message for my brothers, politicians, not just in Papua New Guinea, in Africa also, Jamaican, Caribbean, all those places. Please keep your land. The land belongs to the people. Be strong. Your ancestors left that land for you. Don't give it for little change. Don't do that, dear presidents. Yes, my brother. You have any message for the politicians in Papua New Guinea?
Well,
Probably that's the same thing, isn't it?
yeah, we just need to change the status quo. There's systematic corruption everywhere.
Yeah.
But if you know what the right thing is to do, and you have to do it, because no one else will.
Yes, sir.
Because the future of a lot of people depends on the decisions that are made today. So bearing that in mind, it's if you know what's right, you do it. And yes, do the right thing.
What about message for the West Papuans?
Well, they're still fighting for their freedom. I personally feel more can be done on our part because of the bilateral relations that exist between us and Indonesia. It has kind of made it a touchy subject to go on, but I hope they get their freedom soon.
So the pigeon of Papua New Guinea is, and the pigeon of Solomon in Vanuatu are the same?
Theirs is slightly different. Theirs is more English, but ours is much more plainer.
Okay.
But there's some similarities.
Okay.
I would still be able to communicate with someone from Solomon Island or Vanuatu.
Okay. Have you been to other islands?
No, but soon. Soon I plan to go there with my wife
Sure.
in a couple of months' time.
To Solomon?
To Vanuatu.
Okay.
I have family there as well.
Oh, good. So all one family.
All one family.
All right. Thank you. That's good to reconnect to your people. A lot of noise here. I just hope the sound came out all right. But it was a pleasure, my brother, to really stop and talking to you and just to get to know you. And the doors are open, my brother, to Africa. That's it for now. This is Reconnecting Africa, reconnecting the black family throughout the world. Until next time,
Stay strong.
stay strong.